Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Atia here at Booking It with Atia, and today we have another book review. Today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Summer of Everything by Julian Winters in conjunction with Caffeine Book Tours. Thank you so much to Caffeine Book Tours and the publisher for providing me with an e-arc in exchange for my honest thoughts. Of course, all opinions are my own. Just had to say that. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already been subscribed. Also, make sure you check out my social media and my Depop shop where I'm selling very great condition books for also great prices. And the structure of this review is going to be very similar to if you saw my The Black Kids review. So I'm going to give you the synopsis, what I liked, what could have been better, and then my final thoughts. So we have Wesley. The book takes place in, I believe, Santa Monica over on the West Coast. We have Wesley. He works at this local comic book store, freshly graduated from high school. He's back from a trip abroad with his parents, and he comes back to find the bookstore in some kind of danger. You know, there's this big corporation coming in that wants to buy them out. Him and his group of friends are determined to save the bookstore, especially Wes, because he's really found it to be a place of home for him. On the other side, he's been pining after his best friend Nico for God knows how long, and so it's simultaneously them trying to save the bookstore, but also Wes trying to grapple with and come to terms with the fact that he needs to tell Nico how he's feeling before they both head off to college. This book comes out on Tuesday, September 8th. I've already pre-ordered my copy, so I guess you can tell that I enjoyed the book for the most part. Also, isn't that cover just so much fun? It's so bright, it's so warm, it's so just like, it just makes me happy, honestly, looking at this cover. What I liked. Alright, so the first thing I really enjoyed about this book is that the bookstore was a central part of the novel. I really enjoy books that focus around readers or book nerds or just bookshops in general, so I really enjoyed how the bookstore was essentially their main setting. You had Wes's apartment, but it was really the bookstores where a lot of the drama, a lot of the revelations, a lot of the big character conversations happen. I also enjoyed that Wes is really a solid character. He makes mistakes. He's not perfect, but he's compassionate, he's kind, he's just trying to help. And I feel like, honestly, I do like me a messy character, right? But I also feel like kind characters, genuinely kind characters, are not easy to find, honestly. Of course, you get your good characters who are usually like up on a high horse and how could you be so bad to everyone else? But Wes is a solid, kind character. He's trying to save the bookstore for himself, but also because he realizes just how much of a staple and a safe haven it is in the community. He tries to help this local kid out as well, feel comfortable and feel safe. And I really honestly truly enjoyed the character of Wes, probably one of my favorite characters in a YA novel. I like the incorporation of lists and kind of like mini essays that were in the book. Wes is very much a list maker, pros and cons or top 5 places I love, and just giving us these mini essays as to why he loved them, and it helps give you a perspective into who he is as a character and what made him the type of character he is without necessarily using flashbacks. And I think the author did that on purpose because there is quite a use of flashbacks in this novel to expound on and explain certain moments in Wes's life. But then we also get the list and we also get the mini essays explaining the reasons why he liked something or why he loved someone or why he didn't like someone. And while it kind of, as I'm saying this, is like that's a flashback too, it was just in a different format, so it didn't feel like a flashback. It felt like we were reading parts of Wes's journal in a sense. I also really love the friend group. It's a huge friend group, so many different people, but I was never confused about who was who or what they looked like or how they sounded, because their speaking patterns, their characteristics, the way they interacted was so distinctive to each individual character, and I really appreciated how Winters knows how to craft a large group conversation. And I have not read his other two novels. I actually purchased them after I finished Summer of Everything. I have not read his other two novels, but I know Running with Lions centers one character but features, is it a hockey team? Ooh, or is it a soccer team? Some kind of team. So I'm guessing that we're going to also have a really big group dynamic in that as well. And I'm interested to see if this is just a thing that Winters has down packed. And basically the trouble or the difficulty with large group conversations is that there's so many people. How do you keep everyone clear? How do you keep all the lines of communication clear and make them so perfectly understood while also being realistic? Conversations with like 4 or more people make no sense from the outside perspective. They really don't, because two people can be having one conversation, and then like the third person can be half listening but also talking across a circle, and then the fifth person is in their own world. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I was plopped into their friend group and witnessing this conversation that simultaneously made sense but didn't make sense, and it was just so realistic, and I just really admired the way that Winters was able to pull that off several times throughout the book. I also enjoyed the ending of the book. It was heartfelt, but it was still grounded in reality. It tugs at your heartstrings. There's also a huge sense of closure. There are so many different things that are left kind of open, not left open, but are just explored throughout the book, and the ending wraps them up in a nice bow without being cheesy. I felt like all of the loose strings were nicely just cut off and snipped and everything. It was a great ending. It really was a great ending, and sometimes you feel underwhelmed with the ending of a contemporary book because it's like, and now they all frolicked off into the sunset. And with this one, maybe not. And even if they do, it was very much like things are good kind of right now, but that doesn't mean they'll be good in like 3 months from now. And I also enjoyed, I didn't have this in my notes, strangely enough, but I love just the internal conversation Wes has with themselves in preparation and in anticipation for his future. He is, like I said, this is the summer between high school and college, and he's grappling with the fact of where does he want to go, well, not where, he knows where he's going, about what he wants to do when he gets into college. Is college for him? What will he do when he gets there? He loves the bookstore, and he's having all these different questions and concerns that are so normal for an 18-year-old. And I feel like a lot of times in YA books, when they're grappling with these decisions, they grapple with them during the school year, right? They grapple with them before that May 1st deadline. And then by the end of the school year, they have it wrapped up. Wes doesn't. He graduated high school. He went abroad with his family. Now he's back in town, and he's still freaking out weeks leading up to him going to college about whether or not that's the right choice for him. What could have been better? I don't have many gripes with this, okay, I have 3. That's not a lot. I mean, it could be worse. My first thing is I wish we had had more present day moments with Nico, which is Wes's crush and best friend. I found in the first half of the book, we got a lot of flashbacks or references to past moments with Nico, and I found myself wishing in the first half that we got more Nico present day, because you get that he's pining after him, you get that he's in love with him, but I was like, okay, but show me Nico. Show me why you like him so much. Show me why he's such a great best friend. And you get the best friend moments, but I wanted more of the romantic moments, or what Wes perceives to be romantic moments. And I think that definitely did get better in the second half of the book. We got more present day Nico, which leads me to my second point. There was like a wisp of a love triangle for like 30 pages maybe, and then it just floated away. And I was like, what? That would have been so cool and so messy, but so cool. And I wish the love triangle, if we could even call it that, had been deepened and expanded upon, because that would have just added a whole other layer to the book. Even if it wasn't a really in-depth love triangle, I feel like it was hinted at, and then we were getting it, and I was like, okay, cool, love triangle. And then there was, I can't even say that's a spoiler. Is it a spoiler? I don't know. I'm not even gonna risk it, but just, I wish there was more of a love triangle, which is a weird thing to say. I also wish we'd gotten more of Mrs. Rossi, who's the bookstore owner. She leaves a lot of the responsibility to Wes. I think he's a manager at this point. And so we don't really see her. You know, she's talked about, she's hinted at, you have a few scenes with her, but I would have really enjoyed getting to know her more as a character. She's a central person in Wes's life. And she's a central person in a lot of their different lives. And she has this great scene towards the end of the book that she's giving all this advice, and it's so emotional. And I was just like, this is great, but I would have felt more of this if I had kind of gotten more scenes with you in the beginning of the book. Alright, so my final thoughts, I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This is definitely one of the best coming-of-age YA books that I've read. I have pre-ordered it. I'm looking forward to adding it into my collection. One, because I truly enjoyed the story and I see it as being a story that I'll reread. Also, the cover is just chef's kiss. Love it. If you're interested in purchasing, pre-ordering Summer of Everything by Julian Winters, I highly recommend you check out my bookshop.org and Libro.fm links in the description box. Both of them support independent bookstores. If you like to pre-order a physical copy, bookshop.org. If you would like to pre-order the audiobook, then I recommend Libro FM. And these not only help yours truly, but they help independent bookstores as well, which is always a noble and realistic and helpful goal in this society. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like to give it a huge thumbs up, comment down below, have you heard of Summer of Everything? Are you interested in reading about it? If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video. Check out all of my social media, my blog, my Goodreads, as well as my Depop shop, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.